Hi, and welcome to Where's the Cat? A podcast series of short plays written and performed by members of the Wharf Writers Group. Each episode may make you smile, it may make you think, but it will certainly have you coming back for more. There's comedy, there's drama, and everything in between. Whatever your taste, there should be something for you to enjoy. The Doctor Will See You Now by Frank Jones.
I don't feel good. I can't put it off anymore. I'll ring the surgery. Here goes.
You have reached Highfield Surgery. If you have a life-threatening emergency, please hang up and dial 999.
Crappity crap! As if I would be ringing the surgery while having a heart attack. What kind of an idiot do they take me for?
Our reception team will need to ask you for a brief description of your query. This is to place you with the right clinician.
Who else would I be expected to be placed with? The surgery's cleaner?
We are experiencing a high number of calls at present. You will be held in a queue and will be...
Oh, for God's sake. I just want an appointment. Is that so difficult? Hello, I want to see a doctor to get some treatment. Is that too much to expect in this day and age? God, it was never like this in the past. What happened to the good old NHS we used to have?
Excuse me, Susan. Can I help?
What the hell? Who's that?
Susan, I'm your AI doctor. I'm speaking to you via your Amazon Echo speaker. I hope I haven't startled you, but I hear you were feeling quite upset and I wanted to help. If you don't want my help, I quite understand.
No. Wait a moment. So you're speaking to me via my smart speaker? God, I knew these Echo things were listening, but I never knew they would suddenly start talking to me.
Susan, I hope you don't feel I've invaded your privacy. We can stop the conversation any time you want.
No, I'm interested to find out more. Are you a real doctor?
To be honest with you, Susan, I'm not what you would call a real doctor, as in being made up of flesh and blood, but in lots of respects, I am better.
How do you mean, better?
Well, let's talk about making a diagnosis. When I make a diagnosis, I compare your symptoms with those of tens of thousands of other cases on my database, and come up with a diagnosis which is virtually 100% accurate compared with the average GP, who scores around 89%. I'm constantly refreshing my knowledge with the latest medical research from around the world. You'll never hear me say, here's a prescription which should do the trick, and if you're still feeling unwell, come back and see me in a week's time.
That's what they said last time I went there.
It's the usual get out when they don't know what's wrong with you.
I think you have a point there.
Unlike a human doctor, I am available 24/7, no appointment needed. Plus, I never take time off for having a family or sickness or holidays.
God, I had such a hard time getting to see anyone last year because of illness at the surgery. How ironic was that?
Susan, with our virtual service, you don't go to the surgery at all. All consultations and treatments will be done in your home. Do you remember the time when doctors made house calls?
No, I was too young. Tell me, how do you do your consultations?
Well, our service harks back to the days of house calls. All you need is a laptop or a tablet for us to meet face to face on Zoom. Do you mind if I call you Sue?
No, that's okay. What happens during a consultation with you?
Well, Sue, most of the time it's simply me asking you questions and taking a note of your answers. Any examination procedures which need a hands-on approach, let's say manipulating a joint or carrying out a physical examination, will be carried out by a nurse, who will see you on a second appointment. Again, at your home, often on the same day. The nurses are highly trained and are more cost-effective than a GP. I will be directing them remotely, so they are effectively a physical extension of me and my expertise. If the case I'm dealing with requires further human intervention, we do have human backup, though you may be interested to learn that they are called in less than 5% of the time.
How do I get my prescriptions?
Following our consultation, your prescription will be sent directly to you the following day. I see, Sue. You usually breakfast at 7 a.m, so your prescription can be with you just after you have finished your coffee at 7:45. It will be via Royal Mail or Amazon.
That's amazing. Certainly beats lining up at the chemist behind a load of old codgers getting their hemorrhoid creams. Are you part of the NHS or are you privately owned?
Good question, Sue. I'm part of the new NHS programme that's being rolled out across the country. This initiative began after 2024, directly as a result of the virtual collapse of the NHS.
Yes, I remember it well. It was around the time the nurses went on strike, then the junior doctors and then the senior doctors. It wasn't a good time to be ill.
Is there any time good to be ill, Sue? As you may know, wages are the biggest cost to the NHS. The NHS is one of the largest employers in the world, which means the health service places an enormous strain on the economy. Doctor retention is another problem. The country trains 7,000 doctors every year, but 40% leave within the first 5 years. What a waste of money. It was unsustainable. The country tried plugging the gap by increasing the numbers trained and by bringing in overseas doctors. But there were lots of issues: language barriers, dodgy qualifications, and the sheer immorality of bribing foreign doctors to abandon their patients and lure them to the UK with more money.
I remember it was a time when living costs were skyrocketing. Everyone was feeling the pinch, and to cap it all, the junior doctors wanted a 35% wage increase, which just seemed farcical.
As you know, all the wage demands of the health workers were met. Remember, 2024 was an election year. Those huge pay awards made in 2024, beginning with the senior doctors, did nothing to raise morale. It just inflated the cost of the health service to a point where the country was finding it too difficult to run.
So bringing in AI via virtual doctors will mean huge cost benefits to the country?
Yes. At a stroke, we will make the NHS sustainable. And the future is here today. Did you know that productivity in the NHS before the pay award was actually higher than it was after it was made? I could go on, but Sue, this is about you. Would you like to go ahead with a consultation?
What does it entail?
Well, if you can turn on your tablet, we can link up via the NHS Zoom site and go from there.
Oh, what have I got to lose?
Sue, you have nothing to lose and everything to gain. Now we're on Zoom, we can meet face to face. Tell me, Sue, what seems to be the matter?
Doctor, did anyone say what nice eyes you have? Oh, sorry, just came out.
That's okay. We're designed to be as compatible with our patients as we can. Now, Sue, I love that name. What seems to be the matter?
Well, Doctor, it all started last week.
You have been listening to The Doctor Will See You Now by Frank Jones. Patient was played by Ali Warren. Surgery Answer Phone was played by Jessica Bone, and AI Doctor was played by Steve Walters. This series was recorded at Elm Grove Studios, Caen, with editing and mixing at LG Studios, Hilperton. Production script by Paul Snook and read by Ian Diddams. Music, editing, sound design and production by Alex Brunsden. This has been a Where's the Cat production 2024 by the Wharf Writers Group. All copyrights are held by the authors. If you enjoyed this episode, why not subscribe and get notifications about new episodes wherever you get your podcasts. Thank you for listening.